Okay, this is Ken from StandaloneHarness.com. In a previous video, I described our all-new one-piece standalone harness for LMM and LBZ. I've got it differentiated here with blue tape. I've got it laid over a factory harness so that you can see that it's routed very similarly. So first things first is you would connect your number 8 injector, because that'll determine the setup length of the whole harness. I've got another video that describes all of the connections on the engine, so as I go through these, I'm going to do it quick. I'm only going to do it at the breakouts. If you don't know where the position is, you need to watch the other video. So the first breakout that we come to in our one-piece harness is for the VGT position sensor and then the fuel rail temp sensor. The next breakout in the harness is engine oil pressure and ground, and so we've got that wrapped with heat tape. You can route it down on the front of the engine. You want to stay as far away from your exhaust manifold as possible. Tuck it down there and run it back to your oil pressure sensor, and then make sure that the ground on the block is good and that your battery grounds to the block. So the next breakout would be for intake air temp 2, and then the breakout for the fuel pressure regulator. We do not have a jumper harness in. Ours is a one-piece, and it's intended to plug directly into the fuel pressure regulator. Walking over to the other side of the engine to get the other breakouts. The next one we come to is for the alternator. And so this will either be for LMM or LBZ, or 2-pin versus 4-pin. The next one is engine coolant temp that plugs directly into the sensor down there. And then we've got the VGT solenoid plugs directly into that connector there. The next breakout down the line is for the map sensor, and that of course has the ability to move around depending on where your map sensor is on your inlet tubing. The next is fuel pressure sensor. We do not have a jumper in our harness like the factory. It is intended to plug directly into the sensor down there. So you're going to need to have some room and not have everything installed before you go to plug our harness in. The other one coming off of that is mass airflow sensor, and that will be set up with either an LMM or an LBZ, depending on which ECM you're running. The sensors are not interchangeable. The last breakout that we come to is for the other 4 injectors running down the passenger side of the engine, and then this section would route down the front of the engine going to your cam sensor and your crank sensor. I'll cover the glow plug control module harness and the transmission harness next. This is intended to be just a quick video. This does require a skill set to install this harness. You will need cushion clamps, and you'll also need plenty of zip ties in order to make this thing route perfectly over your engine. This is intended only to be a basic idea of how it routes.